Hi, Jenni here. So last year's autumn was my first year as a teacher. And I worked a lot during the day, and then after work I would work some more. And eventually when I could stop for the day, I would just brain rot on the couch. I wanted to avoid that this year. So in the summer I decided I would start up 3 hobbies for the autumn, for the duration of my contract, to see if I could avoid the desire to brain rot on the couch at least a few times in the week. So I'm going to introduce the hobbies and talk about how much they cost, if I was consistent with them, how they felt, and finally answer the question, are you able to have a hobby while you are a working adult? So the first hobby I picked up was dancing. First initial thoughts regarding dancing. I used to dance from age of 3 to the age of 16, 17. And I absolutely loved it. It was everything to me. But I had to give it up due to being busy with schoolwork and never picked it up again, even though I absolutely loved it. So when my mom suggested that I should get back to dancing, I really thought of it because I knew I would be busy. And I knew that it could be really draining to do something in the evenings when I have long days and so on. However, I loved dancing so much, and I just decided I should try if I could manage having a hobby once a week in the evening and then work as well. I went to the dance classes with my best friend Taru, and being able to see your friend once a week is actually amazing as an adult. So these classes cost me 99 euros for 13 sessions. We started at the end of August and ended in the end of November. Now, was I consistent? I would say yes. I only missed 2 sessions from dancing, and that was because I had a cold twice this month. Was it worth it? Now, it was on Monday evenings, so I would essentially come home, shower, brush my teeth and go to bed. And then I would have a 6 a.m. wake up time in the morning. But I would say it was definitely worth it. Dancing gave me so much joy that I can't even begin to describe how much it means to me. And seeing my best friend once a week, again, such a joy. Something that would not be possible if it hadn't been for dancing. So I would say that it was definitely worth it. And since it was a beginner's class of show jazz, I used to practice both of those. It was decent enough, good enough level for me that I didn't feel like a total beginner, but also it wasn't too challenging. However, I do need to work on my balance a little bit. So dancing, the first hobby, worth it, definitely. The second hobby was taking Greek lessons at a community college. These classes are online and they happen on Wednesday evenings. Cost of the Greek lessons was 85 euros for 30 sessions, and it's still ongoing. We will have a short break and then continue on in the spring. What were my initial thoughts? I thought, am I being a bit too much? Am I doing too much by starting Greek lessons in addition to teaching a language as a job and spending so much time on that and then continuing on with another language? It would have been smarter to start some lessons to revise my Swedish or German. But I love Greek pop, I love Greek culture, so I wanted to learn more about Greek language and I wanted to be able to read the letters. So those were my initial thoughts, being a bit worried for my well-being and if I have the energy to do it, but also being intrigued by language. Now, was I consistent? I would say mostly yes, but there were a couple of sessions that I skipped because one, I was ill or I was just too exhausted after work that I just could not do it. Just as with dancing, these classes were in the evening and I would basically just go to bed afterwards. So it was a lot. But if I think was it worth it, I would say mostly yes, because it has been interesting to learn a completely different language with different alphabet. I have learned something, numbers, how to introduce myself, ime Jenni. And it's been really cool to read the Greek lyrics of my favorite songs from Evangelia and Marina Satti and Eleni Furera, and being able to read the letters. I don't know what they're saying, most of the time, but I can read the lyrics. So I would say that Greek lessons were mostly worth it. Now, the third hobby is swimming. So what were my initial thoughts? Well, Joel and I, my partner, used to go swimming once a week a couple of years ago, but I would have endometriosis flare-ups after some sessions, so we stopped it because it wasn't pleasant to go swimming and then be in bed in pain the rest of the day. So I was a bit wary. But I remember how much I loved swimming. So I thought that we would go session by session, day by day. We go on Sunday mornings. We get up at 7:30 and then go to the swimming hall directly afterwards. And how much does it cost? Well, it would cost €5.50 per visit. But since Joel's mother works at the swimming hall, we get in for free. It's either $5.50 or for free, which I think is really great. Have I been consistent with swimming? I would say yes. Again, missed a couple of Sundays due to being ill, but other than that, every Sunday I've gone. Was it worth it? It definitely is. Definitely. Similarly with dancing, it really has helped me to cope. Having to do something that you cannot access your phone during, that you're just there keeping yourself above water, it's such an amazing feeling. Being in the water and, being able to swim and enjoy myself. Sometimes it has been a bit crowded. I was wary of that, like if it would be too crowded if there was too many people. But it's been good so far. And I haven't had endometriosis flare-ups this autumn, which is great. So was it worth it? Absolutely, I think so. Yeah, just falling in love with swimming and being in the water again was so meaningful, and it helped me to get through this autumn when I had so much work, because at least for a Sunday morning, I could just forget about everything and just focus on swimming. When it comes to my endometriosis, I've given up a lot of things because of it, so being able to return to swimming despite my endometriosis is really wonderful. I am still continuing all of these hobbies. We are still going swimming, maybe not as strictly every Sunday, but still most of Sundays. I will continue dancing in the spring as well, and the Greek lessons also. So, is it possible to have hobbies as a working adult? I would say in very specific situations, yes. I worked a day job, and even though I would work often after work, it still allowed me to have free evenings, and I made sure that I would be done for the day by the time I had my hobbies. But I also lost some hobbies during this time because I picked up so many. I haven't written poems properly in a long time. I've written maybe 2 during this autumn. I obviously stopped making YouTube videos for the time because I filmed one actually in the beginning of my contract, and it was awful. I couldn't be on camera in that mindset, so I had to give it up. So in specific circumstances, yes. Did I take on too many hobbies by starting 3 new hobbies? I think maybe. The Greek lessons have been the biggest burden, I think, because there is homework and the lessons are quite long. But it's still been interesting, like especially as a language teacher, there have been some pedagogical decisions that maybe I wouldn't have thought of doing, but also things that I would think that I probably couldn't be able to implement that in my English lessons. But I also recognize that starting kind of an organized hobby is very difficult during these times. Not everyone can afford it, not everyone has the time, not everyone has the ability to participate, which is really unfortunate. But I really wish everyone could have some kind of hobby, because I know without dancing or swimming, this autumn would have been incredibly difficult for me, and it was really difficult, but dancing and swimming helped me through it. Okay, I also of course have other hobbies that I have participated in. I have read during this autumn. Miraculously, I've not at the speed I would like, but still I've read books. When I became unemployed in the spring, I started knitting. This is my latest attempt at knitting. I'm making a headband for Joel. So yeah, I have many hobbies, which I'm really happy about. Did I have to neglect some of these while I was working? Yes, but it's been easy to return to it once again. Okay, let me know in the comments below. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do in your free time? Do you not have hobbies? Why not? I would love to start a discussion up there about this. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos about literature, culture, and society overall. Follow my bookstagram. It's also jenskosmos. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye!